Hey guys, in this video, we're doing something hopefully a little bit easier than the last section, which was multiplying matrices. And in this one, we're going to be what's called an augmented matrix. So an augmented matrix is basically just a matrix kind of with a line through part of it, if you will. But the idea of this is an augmented matrix allows us to write a system of equations. So a system is just basically more than one equation. As a matrix, it's just another way of writing a system of equations. And you can actually use some different operations with matrices in order to solve a system of equations. So back in probably Algebra 1, you learned some different techniques for solving systems of equations like substitution and elimination, right? And it turns out that matrices can actually be used to solve these, which is especially helpful when you have like 3 variable equations. Matrices can make this, I guess you could say, a little bit easier and allow you a different technique to solve these. So what we're going to do in this video is basically just practice writing the matrix that would be the result of a given system of equations. We're not actually going to solve it. We're just going to write the augmented matrix. And you'll see down here, this is what an augmented matrix looks like. It's basically just a matrix, and it's going to have some line here. And that line just kind of represents the equal sign. Just represents the equal sign. So basically all we want to do is rearrange this system of equations so that it's basically an x plus or minus a y equals some constant. And then we have x plus or minus a y equals some constant. Okay, and then that constant is going to go on the other side of that line right there. Okay. So really pretty simple. We're just going to rearrange it using inverse operations, whatever we need to do. So for this top equation, all I need to do is just add that 2x over. So I'm just going to write this as 2x, add it over, plus 7y equals 7. And then the bottom one, I'm just going to rearrange the x and the y and make it negative x, positive x. Erase that there. Just switching those around. Positive x plus y equals 3. Okay, so that, all I did, again, is just basically add the 2x over, right? And then I just switched the spots here. They're both positive, so I'm going to switch those. And then when I write my augmented matrix, all I do is write the coefficients. So we're just writing just the numbers in front. So 2, 7, and 7. And this top line, 2, 7, 2, 7, and 7. And the bottom one, same deal, just an invisible 1 there, so make sure you write that. This one also has an invisible 1 and then a 3. So don't write 0, because that would mean there's 0 x's. It's going to be a 1, and a 3. So just the coefficients or the constant. Constants are always on the right side. Also notice that the x's are all lined up. Right? These are both x terms and these are both y terms. That has to be the case or else it will be wrong. You technically could have those switch. You could have y's first and then x's. It wouldn't really matter as long as they're in the same line. But general, just a good rule is to do x, y, z. So I would do the x, y, z. And we're just going to go ahead and submit that. Okay. Again, this is called an augmented matrix. I'm going to go ahead and erase this. All right, and you will see we've got 3 system of equations here. So it's going to be just a bit more challenging. You can see we have x's, y's, and z's. Now, if there is not a given variable, for example, this first one does not have a y in this equation, that means we're just kind of going to leave a blank spot there where the y would be. So I need to move my x over to this side, so I'm going to be subtracting it. This is going to be minus 2x. And then I'm just going to leave a blank there. You could write plus 0y because there's no y's. And then we got plus 3z. And then equals 9. And it's probably a good habit to just go ahead and write that 0y because when you write it into your augmented matrix, you're going to have to put a 0 placeholder there. Okay, for this next one, I'm just going to need to add my 8y over, right? And I actually have no x's in that, so it's like a 0x plus an 8y, and then plus 6z, and then equals -3. And notice again how I've got everything lined up. Okay, then the last one, we're going to need to add the 4 over. We're also going to need to move the 6x over to that side. So we've got a positive 6x now. No y's, so we're going to be plus 0y plus 6z equals positive 4. And then we're just going to write out all the numbers in front. So we got -2, 0, 3, and 9, 0, 8, 6, -3, 6, 0, 6, 4. That's going to be our augmented matrix. So again, in this video, we're just writing it out. There is ways that you can then solve it. But for now, this would be an augmented matrix. 6 and 4. Okay, that's all there is to it. That last one is probably about as hard as you would actually get. Let's go ahead and just do one more. Make sure you got it. Click the screen here. All right, so this one is 3 variables and only 2 equations, which is okay. So same deal though. We're going to want to write our x, y, then z. So the first one, I'm just going to change those two there, make it 2x plus 3y. And actually, sorry, there's no z's. There's just two variables. No z's there. We're going to add the 7 over. Generally, there's the same number of variables as there is equations. All right, that first one's good. Now I just need to kind of switch these spots. So add the 7y over, and we have 0x, so I'm going to write 0x plus 7y equals positive 3. And that's it. So this should be a very easy assignment for you. Hopefully it doesn't take you more than 10 minutes or so. All right, guys, let me know if you need any help.